When you were in high school, what was your life like? What time did you go to school, and what time did you end, and what did you do after?
Okay. I had a busy high school life, but it was kind of at my own behest. Okay, so I think my first high school class started at like 7:20. It was pretty early in the morning, but I got off at 2, something like that, 2:15. And I was the kind of person, I was very engaged with sports. I went to a very small high school, so like they literally needed people to play the damn sports. I'm not that athletic at the end of the day, but I was a 3 sport athlete. I did soccer, basketball for a while, then switched to ski team, and then I was a baseball player. So after school I was regularly going to sports, and then I also of course had a summer break. And I think the Korean school system, do they not have a summer break? Educate me.
I think they do, but it's not as long. I
Mm-hmm.
think their winter breaks are longer, but the day-to-day aspect of it is starkly different from what we go through here. So my experience here in the US was pretty similar, right? You show up at like, I don't know, 8, you're done by like 3, and then you do extracurriculars. In Korea, dude, it's freaking intense. When you're in high school, especially when you're in the last year of high school and you're taking examinations to try to get into college,
Mm-hmm.
you're showing up to school at like 9 a.m. You're done at like 4 p.m. But everybody goes to this thing called hagwon.
Okay.
And every single Korean person knows what that is. So this is basically like after school. You're going for, you can either be studying math. It's like educational stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to a test prep academy.
Oh,
And
okay.
you're there until like 11 p.m. every single
Is
day.
this something that the government provides, or
No, you have to
parents?
pay for it.
Oh, wow.
Parents pay for it, but it's the culture. Everybody's doing it. So
It's
if you
weird
don't,
if you don't.
not even weird, you can't keep up.
Wow.
Yeah, so just because everybody else is doing it for survival, that's kind of what I was touching on when we discussed
Mm.
hustle culture. It's like you have to live your life that way in order to essentially meet the minimum standard. I mean, imagine a person here in the US that's studying from like 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m. every single day. I mean, that person is going to like Harvard or Stanford, right?
Right.
But in Korea, like you're mediocre at best.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people, especially young people, and that's why Korea has such a high rate of suicide, especially amongst adolescents, they can't keep up with that pressure. There's a lot of societal and cultural implications where a lot of your value, unfortunately, may be tied up to your educational achievement and your social status. It's everybody's goal to go to a good college. There's 3 of them. That are kind of like our Ivy League. And if you go to those 3, maybe you can get a job at a place like Samsung or LG and you can have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically like what everybody's competing for. And it's extremely, extremely difficult to attain that level of, attainment. Just because the competition is so stiff. Like, how are
Right.
you competing against people working 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.? Like, what more can you possibly do, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I literally think you couldn't do more, because like then you of course have to sleep, and it just, yeah, as you describe it, it just breeds mental health crisis in
Yeah,
my
man.
opinion.
And nobody
Burnout.
doing sports. They don't
Wow.
have time for sports, right? That's something that we take for granted here.
Right.
I mean, when I was in high school, like after school, I would just go to the park, play
Mm-hmm.
ball with friends, and that was such like a happy moment in my upbringing. But students in Korea, like they're going to their academies, they're going to their after schools to solve math problems.
Is there even like regular exercise encouraged? Is there any time for that?
I think in school, I mean, in elementary school there was, but I think by high school it's all phased out.
Wow.
You're essentially being trained to take exams, to take multiple choice exams.
Mm.
It's not even, they don't even teach like critical thinking or like essay writing. It's mostly geared towards taking multiple choice exams.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine that. Imagine how like torturous that sounds.
I don't think I could survive.
Dude, it
Literally.
sounds harder than med school.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think if I was in that culture, quite frankly, sadly, I would be suicidal. There's no way I would last.
Right, right. So that culture of hagwon, this after schools, is even prevalent here in the U.S. amongst Korean Americans. I mean, I grew up like going to those places every all on weekends. I would have to go to those academies. Like do work. They would give you homework.
Oh, so it's weekends as well.
Oh yeah, it's weekends as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty much mandatory to go on the weekends.
Huh.
So yeah, man, there's a lot of
Ugh.
pressure on them, and it's very, very unfortunate. And one of the biggest blessings that I consider, that I've had in my life was the chance to grow up in the United States, where
Right.
I like avoided all that BS. Because I don't think I would have survived. I don't think I would have had a chance to become a doctor. Had I grown up in Korea. I mean, like I feel like I'm not that smart. I'm not that special. Maybe I can outwork a few people, but dang, if everybody's like working 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.,
Mhm.
like, no, I can't. Yeah, I can't go above and beyond that. That would be, I will burn out. I think I will burn out pretty damn fast.
Certainly. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't burn out in that structure.